Welcome back to NC Media. My name is Chris. Today I'm talking with Justin. We're going to talk everything about live streaming and why it's important and why it's also underutilized and why you should start using it today. Welcome, Justin, to
What's
the
up?
broadcast, man.
Let's do this, man. I'm excited to chat about this.
It has definitely been a while since we've chatted, especially on video. I mean, we like talk through text and stuff, but it's awesome to have you and to even catch up and talk with you a little bit about some things. And we'll definitely keep this fairly short and to the point, so that way people can take a lot of value out of this. And yeah, so what's going on, man? So what's new with you so far?
Not much, man. I have been, pumping out content on my Creator Wizard channel for a year now. I started doing it last June. So it's been a little over a year, and it's been a blast, man. I've been informally helping creators, my friends and things like that, to up their game from the business side of being an influencer or a creator. But this is the most formalized kind of education that I've started creating to help other people. It's been super fulfilling, man. I just finished the third cohort of my Brand Deal Wizard course, which helps creators essentially completely overhaul their brand deal strategy. And so it's been a blast kind of learning. This is the first time I've ever done like a digital course or anything like that. So I've learned so much along the way and just excited to keep the good vibes rolling, man.
That's awesome. And that's kind of where I guess we'll just start is what kind of got you interested in doing like live video or doing video in like general?
Absolutely. So when I first started creating content, so, first of all, my wife, April, and I, we've got about 1.5 million followers across all of our social platforms. And so we as creators have been, utilizing live content in general or live video in general for a long time, so whether it's Instagram Live or YouTube Live or Facebook Live or whatever it is. But I would say my wife was the one who was doing it a lot more than I was. And I really started like leaning into it a lot more when I started creating content for Creator Wizard. And, honestly, one of the reasons why I started doing it a lot more was I just wanted instant feedback from my audience, on like what type of content they wanted from me. And I think that there's just a difference between having scheduled uploads, like, I upload every Wednesday, which I do. I upload every Wednesday, like a normal video. But, when you show up every week, it's a totally different experience. I get so much more engagement, obviously, because people are commenting probably 10x more than a normal video. Whereas, for a normal one, they'd respond probably once or, make a comment once. So again, it's just like so much easier to build a rapport on a live stream.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you could give your wife all the credit all you want, but also you've been doing so much work too, behind the scenes and also now in front of the scenes with Creator Wizard. And I've heard a lot of great things and seen a lot of great things with your whole brand deal strategy and all that stuff. So we'll definitely get more into that. But I actually want to know too, how has live video helped you as a business? Because first you guys started with YouTube and like video and like I've known you guys done some cooking stuff and some family vlogs. But how has live now influenced your business?
Yeah, so it's been a big thing. We'll talk about live for us as creators in a little bit, but at least for Creator Wizard, my niche is in creator education, right? Primarily around helping creators make more money with brand deals, right? So live video has helped a ton because it's kind of the closest thing there is to an actual classroom, I guess you could say, so I can answer people's questions immediately. And I think people really respect others who live stream too. Not everyone can do it or feel comfortable in front of a camera. So basically coming at it from a point of, okay, well, how can I serve my audience? Well, what better way than like answering their comments immediately on a live? So, my live stream that I do every single Friday is on brand deals, right? And, as a creator, when you get a brand deal inquiry come in, there's oftentimes, if you don't have especially if you don't have a ton of experience doing brand partnerships or negotiating or things like that, there's a lot of questions you have. The brands are asking for, something unusual like, oh, we want to do this and you've never done that before, or, they want usage rights or they want exclusivity, or it's just kind of like, just a complicated process sometimes for a lot of creators. And so by showing up every week, I get a lot of creators who come to it with like, oh my gosh, a brand just emailed me yesterday. Like, what do I do? What would you do in this situation? And I'm able to help them right then and there. I come at this from a point of like, I'm not my course is cohort based. So it's not like an on-demand thing where you just like, drop down your credit card and you can like watch it all at once. So it's a little bit different. When I help people and I show up every single week, it's not like my expectation is they're going to go and like sign up for my course, because they literally cannot. the enrollment period doesn't start for another couple months, right? So my philosophy behind this is just building that credibility, building my connection with my audience. And I know that when push comes to shove, when my enrollment period does open up again, there's going to be creators who I've been serving week after week who will want to enroll and want to participate. So it is part of a much larger strategy for me as in my creator business. And so that's kind of how I look at it.
That's awesome. To be completely honest, that is super awesome. And what I love about that is you can't just, be like, hey, here's this, how much this is, blah, 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 blah. Like you always add into it, correct? So like you're always adding more stuff. And through live, you're able to do that a lot faster and easier because you're actually, like you mentioned, like a classroom. So like if I want to talk to you, it's not just through you doing a pre-recorded video. It's we are engaging in like a live conversation like how we are now. So,
yeah, totally. Exactly.
All right. I got another question for you. So at Creator Wizard, how do you help creators understand the importance of live?
Yeah. So I've been shouting this from the rooftops, the importance of live for a long time. The main advice is like, if you're not comfortable with it now, get over it. Right? Like live is going to be an incredibly important part of most creators' businesses, I think. And I'll use this opportunity to talk about my wife and I's experience on Amazon Live. So Amazon Live is a totally new format. It's essentially, what a lot of people call it like a live commerce or shop-attainment or whatever it is. This is something that's been extremely popular in Asia for several years already, especially China, where essentially you are... it's kind of like QVC 2.0 is a great way to describe it. So there's like a host and you're talking about different products and you can actually purchase the product. So with Amazon Live, we've been doing it since November. Their team reached out to us and it's really slick. Basically, there is a product carousel underneath the video. And so there's like a special app that we use that goes alongside while we're doing our live streams. And we are engaging with our audience, our followers who are watching the live stream. They're asking questions about the product. And we have, just honestly been blown away with the traction and the growth, the numbers that we've seen. So in that scenario, people can literally click on the product in the carousel and purchase it right then and there. And then we get, as creators, we get a commission. And so you can extrapolate that, down the line. If you're able to like grow a huge following on Amazon, there's other platforms, not just Amazon Live, but there's other platforms that are experimenting with this, like TikTok and Facebook and so on. But Amazon Live has been the natural partner for us because we've been talking about Amazon and shopping on Amazon for over a decade, right? So has been a great partner for us. But the thing that we're most excited about is because, brand partnerships is like a huge part of our business as creators. And so we're extremely excited about the fact that we can upsell our existing brand partners on doing Amazon Live integration. So when they reach out to us for an Instagram partnership or a YouTube partnership or TikTok or whatever it is, we can say, sure, that sounds great, but would you also like to add an Amazon Live integration into that? Right? So it's like a really easy way to like make more money for yourself as a creator. So even though like the, absolute amount of money that we're making right now is not like a showstopper, it's nice, but it's not like, it's not in terms of the percentage of our overall revenue streams right now. It's not a huge percentage, but in 3 years it might be, right? And so that's what you have to do as a creator. You kind of like have to keep your eye on the ball of like on the horizon of like what is going to be happening in 2 to 3 years, especially if you want to, be doing this as a full-time creator. These are the types of things that you need to be thinking about. And so like live streaming, live commerce, this type of thing, we believe is going to be huge in a couple of years. And so by kind of leading the pack right now as creators, we think that's going to kind of set ourselves up for success, in the not so distant future. And so I absolutely advise lots of creators, any creators that I speak with, to really think seriously about this format if they haven't yet.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. So that was really good. And one of the things I actually want to add to that is new things like live is kind of like this quote that I learned when I was in high school. And I always repeat this. I don't know if I told you this before, but it's life is change, adapt or die, right? Mm-hmm. And when live streaming came along, let's be honest, live has been here for a very long time. If you guys watch football games or UFC fights or anything like that has to do with like a broadcast, sometimes like the AMAs or whatever it is, it's all live. And when YouTube brought in that feature for going live. And then when like Instagram brought in that feature for going live, and I think even TikTok has like a like whole live now, it's not on accident. It's on purpose, because now in the next coming years as creators, we're able to go live, and it will definitely maximize ourselves as a business, as a personality, and just in general. So I definitely love exactly what you said, and let's move on. So as time goes on, people get their gear, right? They get their camera, they get maybe like a lapel mic or like a shotgun mic, and then they get an SD card in a computer, and they're like, oh, I'm a creator. But now they got to edit. Now they got to do all this stuff, right? And then they're hearing this stuff about live streaming. Now you're going to need more stuff like capture card, all that stuff. I have a question. As people grow, they always upgrade their setup. What setup would you recommend getting for creators?
Well, to be honest, people just need to subscribe to you, man. I'll defer to you. If it wasn't for you, I would still be shooting on a potato. Basically, so I like when we had many conversations trying to like dial in my setup. So if it wasn't for you, honestly, it would not be looking like it is right now. So I upgraded my camera to something that could do clean HDMI, for example. We had like a older Canon 5D Mark III, which is a really nice camera, but if I wanted to do like clean HDMI, I would have to go in like manual mode, which is not something that I really wanted to do, right? So all the newer cameras now, if you want to shoot in 4K or have clean HDMI, like that is very nice, like absolutely. So right now I'm shooting on a Sony A7 III, with the stock lens, and an Elgato cam link, which is a fairly inexpensive way to hook your camera, your DSLR camera in via USB to your computer. Again, I did not know any of this stuff, so, and you can easily go live on your phone. So I don't want to deter anyone from thinking that you need all this fancy equipment, super expensive equipment to go live. You don't. But if you do want to kind of stand out from the crowd, it is kind of table stakes these days. Especially, I would say the most important thing is good audio. And even recently, this microphone right now that I'm using is the Shure SM7B, and I resisted for the longest time getting this microphone because I had a Blue Yeti, which was, it was a nice $100-something podcast mic, and it was USB. It suited our needs, but the moment my wife and I started doing live streaming together, I was having so many crazy issues with echo, because we had two Blue Yeti microphones in the same room, and they were picking up each other's audio, and I was doing all this crazy stuff. And Chris kept telling me, man, just get a mixer, It'll solve all these issues. Just get a microphone with an XLR input. And I was just like, no, dude, I'm gonna make this work. And then I finally was just like, screw this, and I did it. And I wish I would have done it sooner, to be honest. So, but again, you can get a very, a Blue Yeti, which is totally fine, a Blue Yeti Nano, which is less than $100. And, stepping up your audio game when you're live streaming is absolutely critical, because that's, if you have crappy audio, people are just not going to want to tune in or watch. And so the other thing too is that my advice is always don't let equipment be your obstacle to doing live streaming, because you're gonna regret it, honestly. 2 years, if you fast forward 2 years from now, and you're gonna be like, man, I wish I started 2 years ago. I hear that refrain so many times from creators, is I wish I would have just started back then, when I was just thinking about it, because Matt, who knows where I would have been now. I look at my first videos that I put out on my Creator Wizard channel a year ago, and I'm just shaking my head wow, I really put that out. But but now I've hired an editor. I have a thumbnail artist who does my thumbnails now, but it's I had to get to that phase, right? And a lot of creators, they're not ready to delegate it quite yet, but I am the type of person who I just want to focus on my craft, focus on the business, and let other people who are better than me focus on those things. And so that's always where my mind is at when it comes to this type of thing.
That is awesome. And as much as I want to take credit for that, right, at the end of the day, you're the one who put your foot down and did this stuff. I didn't tell you about the decorations. I didn't tell you about where to place your camera.
Yes, the decorations were all mine.
Yeah.
The LED wizard in the background, that's all me. That's all me.
Dope. Yeah, that's all you. But
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me change the color of the wizard. This is okay. Here we go. This is gonna be a green wizard for you now.
There we go.
Boom.
There we go. Now it matches my whole Alienware laptop in my thing.
I'm trying.
But I love that, because we had many conversations, Justin. I mean, so many frustrating conversations, because I was giving you the answers. I felt like I was telling you the pen is blue, and you were like, it is not. But it's fine, because I also knew a lot of people have, that like resistance when they get into this, because they're thinking like, maybe I could do this and get by with this and do this and do this. It's like, yeah, but if you pay for this, you don't have to have 5 different sources of something else that might break in the next 4 months or so, or it might be outdated in the next year. The stuff that you have now, Justin, the Shure mic, those things have been around for ages, right? The Sony a7 III is one of the most trusted cameras to use, and it's very diverse. So you could use it for when you go on your trips. I wish you just went on one. You could use it for capturing vlog footage, photographs, live streaming. It's so multi-purpose use. So, and then the Elgato Cam Link that you have, it's the 4K, right? Those things go for like what, $80 to $120 or something like that, and it's simple, And then even for like your mixer, I believe it's like a Scarlett or something like that.
Yeah, I've got a Scarlett 2i2, I think it's called. It's called a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, which is just like the amount of inputs. And it's super simple. I just have 2 inputs. I plug it right in, and it's been a godsend. I also have these things. I wish I could pull them out, but I'm using it right now. It's called a Cloud Lifter, and it just makes the amplitude of the microphones that just sound a lot more full and loud. The other thing I want to mention real quickly, which I think is we shouldn't gloss over, which is just that the other big upgrade I did was I got a computer that was capable of getting a hardwired internet connection, an Ethernet cable, because a lot of people want to live stream. This, we did tried to do some live streams together, Chris, and the quality, especially if your Wi-Fi sucks or other people in your house are using it or something like that, it's going to look terrible. Right. And so I always recommend, like, if you are thinking about upgrading your computer or something like that, make sure that you can get some sort of device that has an Ethernet connection. So I, have a Mac Mini that has an Ethernet cable, and I have it directly hardwired right into my modem. And so I basically have the fastest internet connection that I possibly can, because I want to be able to live stream in the highest possible quality that I can based on the platform that I'm streaming on. Right. So I think that's another important piece.
That's definitely important, and that's definitely something that I think we even discussed because of that, because it was always, like you mentioned, we did multiple live streams, and some of them were just kind of like not cutting it, and you're like, oh, it usually works good for this, and one of the things too, when people don't understand, is when you have a mixer, a camera, everything else going through, the software that your 2015 MacBook might have was made in like 2013, right? So you're always kind of like in the past. But as you upgrade, especially with the new Mac Minis now, there's a whole M1 chip thing coming out. And I even told you this before too, like there's always going to be these upgrades, and you're going to want to buy this and that and this and that. And those are even now the same price, if not cheaper, than the new ones. So if I do recommend anything, if you guys want, is to get the new Mac Mini M1 chip. You could get it for like $700, and it is 8 GB for the RAM, but it works as a 16 GB, which is pretty much what you're looking for. But always try and upgrade your computer first if you're live streaming through your computer stuff. If you're not, then don't worry about it.
This is where you plug your affiliate link in the description box, bro. Come on, man.
Those are actually already down below.
Okay.
If you guys
there
want
we
to check
go.
out anything down setups I have my whole setups I use for live stream, setups that I've recommended to Justin and many other different creators and personalities. So if you guys want to check out any of those, as Justin says,
I'm a personal
check
testimonial.
That out.
Exactly.
Yeah, Justin over here has definitely helped me a whole lot when it came to a lot of different things. Especially with the brand deal, but we could talk about that maybe in another video or maybe later on. But let's definitely move forward. But yeah, your setup is dope, and I love it. And you came such a far way. What I was going to do is show a before and after, which I probably could still do now. Let's pop up that before video of months ago. This is what you looked like right here, and it was just kind of like really gray, right? And then you had like a bed in the back, and you were in the closet and all that stuff, and you were using like I think it was just your what kind of camera was that?
No shame, man. Yeah, I was using a Canon 80D.
Right. So
80D. So it was, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but yeah. Now look at how beautiful I look. Like, you can see like the pores in my skin. It's just like, man. I'll get like real close up to the camera, but it's funny. Like I would say, because I use this setup on calls too, like work calls, you know? So if I'm like talking to a brand or something like that, and literally more than 50% of the time, if I'm like logging in on Zoom with this setup, people go, wow, your setup is super high quality. It's always like a big impressive thing to people because most people just have their grainy webcam, right? So that's another advantage of like stepping up your game when it comes to this kind of thing.
That's what I was literally about to mention too, is when you create, like I'm in my living room right now. I don't have my setup because I actually moved recently, so I don't have my office space anymore. When you have your setup ready, right? If you're in the corner, if you have it in your second bedroom or something like that, you could use it as a work area. You could use it to record videos as well as take calls and go live. So there's like already 4 things right there that you could do. And that's why it's just so important to set this all up. So that way, when you do get on these calls, let's say you're talking to a brand and they see that your setup's like this, it's like, okay, we take this guy serious because he takes us serious. He looks professional. Because we have to admit, when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah,
you know
there we go. Yeah, what's the dress for the job you want, or what is it they say, or something like that? So it's the same type of concept, right? If you want to impress the brand, do it right out the gate.
So Justin, I just have 2 more questions here, and so I use my live setup just like how we mentioned for pre-recorded videos to help simplify my editing process, such as this right now. We are live, but technically we're not. It's being pre-recorded, but I'm recording as a live. Have you done something similar to this since you've got your live setup, and has it helped you with your production with having to sync audio and do all this other stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I use the same set for both when I'm doing solo videos, the ones that I release every Wednesday, because it just simplifies everything, honestly. For our Amazon Live, like live commerce stuff, we have a slightly different setup because it's 2 people, and so whereas typically I'm just recording straight through the camera, but when we're doing live, I'm like using OBS Studio and things like that to sync up with the Amazon Live Creator app, and so it's kind of a slightly different setup. And also, again, my wife is like sitting in the background here, like on cam A, and I'm cam B. I have like a separate little camera here that shows me. She's kind of the main attraction for those live streams. So it's a little bit different, but yeah, I mean, you absolutely can get your setup dialed into a point where you're able to like work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, and that's what I love doing, because before I would have to record off the SD card on my camera, and then if I'm using a lapel mic, of course it's all synced in like one. But the best part about this right now, of when I'm recording it, it goes straight to my hard drive. So I could just, which of course you always want to do, you always want to back it up to the hard drive, so might as well do it all at once. But and now I have the whole program, even the switching. Before, I would have to probably screen record and make sure it's right, and then download some sort of like screen recording for the video and the audio and mix it up. But now I'm able to actually put it all here into one, and it makes it easier, faster. And when I edit this, it might only take me as long as this conversation was. So very simple, very, very easy. And I think the last question here, Justin, man, is what's some advice you would give to creators who, haven't utilized live streaming yet? Like, are they too late? Is it just on time? All that stuff?
Oh, heck no, man. We're in the first inning of the creator economy. Start practicing now. That's my best advice, honestly. You don't have to spend 8 hours a day live streaming like a lot of like on Twitch, for example. There's a lot of different types of live streaming, depending on the platform, right? But going live on YouTube, or going live on Instagram, or going live on TikTok, or whatever platform will get you comfortable with talking on your feet, which I believe is a really important skill to have as a creator, especially if you like working with brands is something that you want to do. Like the other thing I'll mention is that when any platform that is becoming, that is growing, like TikTok, for example, and they introduce a live feature, they almost always push live content in their algorithm a lot more. Like when Facebook Live started, like you would basically see a notification anytime any page or any friend that you followed was going live, right? And they would see it at the very top of the notification area, right? So, the reason that these platforms do this is because they want you to spend more time on their platform, right? So of course they're going to push live content more than other types of content, right? So just getting this format, live content format is not going away. So if you do want to be a creator, if you do want to make a significant income from doing this, my suggestion is to just familiarize yourself and get practice, right? Because it didn't all like I used to stutter and be not super articulate, and this just was not my thing for a long time, but it came with repetition. It came with practice. And so that's my biggest recommendation, honestly, is just get comfortable having these types of conversations, going live. The best way to do it is actually go live with someone else, I think, because then it becomes a conversation. It's not just like you talking and like trying to figure out a thing to say, oh, like, oh, did someone ask me a question? Like, you know, like it's much easier to just like have a conversation like we are, almost like an interview format. And then it just becomes a lot easier and more natural. So again, just start now. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and I agree to that because there's moments during this recording, by the way, which I will put out there to the world. I'm not going to show them the mess ups, but we've had a couple mess ups because I get a little bit nervous because I'm not the one always being the face of the camera live streaming. I just run the live streams for events and stuff, so it's a little bit different.
You got to put the outtakes at the end, bro.
Oh.
Just be like, show the little camera reel, be like, and then like do some little outtakes, man.
I might have to add a couple bleeps in there. There might have to be a couple bleeps in there. But yeah, I definitely probably should. I think if you guys want to see that, it's going to show next. But Justin, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this. I really appreciate it because I feel like together we've grown a lot over the past year itself because, you know, it's been about a year since, you know, you helped me with my biggest brand deal to this date. I mean, helping me make $4,000 extra. So quickly, you know, as we, you know, put an end to this broadcast, you know, and play the bloopers, explain exactly what you do, explain exactly how you help other creators and everything else and where they can find you and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, you know, like I said at the top, my mission is to help as many creators as possible become more business savvy. That is my North Star. So all the content that I create on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you know, Facebook, LinkedIn, every platform that I'm on is to serve that mission. And so whether you're an aspiring creator or whether you're someone who, you know, has been around the block for a while and is needing to, you know, figure out how to get to the next level in your career, that's really, you know, what keeps me, like, fulfills me. I wake up in the morning, I get so excited about talking with creators and helping them on their businesses and things like that. So honestly, the best place to do would just be to join my email list. I have a newsletter that I put out every single week where I share brand deal opportunities. So it's pretty awesome, you know. So you can join up. Chris, you can put it in the description box potentially. Yeah, just that's the best way to stay updated. I put out all my new videos on there, all the brand opportunities and things like that. So it'd just be a great way to stay connected.
Thank you so much, Justin. And guys, it's the NC Media, and I really appreciate every single view. The subscribe button helps a lot too. And let's try and get to 1,000, huh? You know,
let's do it.
I'm doing this once a week, so let's keep this going. Justin, thank you so much. You have a great rest of the day. NC Media fam, everyone else, deuces.